Are they gonna shoot missiles or something?
I'm gonna get this thing going. Y'all want to talk about the con first, or you talk about the movie first? We'll try to get you out. Which one?
I don't know how much we're going to be able to talk about the movie because most of it is this guy fought this guy.
Well, it's so basic. That's the reason why I'm thinking 30 minutes for each.
Yeah.
Like split it up. Which one you want to do first, the con or the movie?
You can do the movie first, knock it out if you want. Lucas.
Okay, sounds good to me. I'm okay with it. I'm easy. I'm just not cheap. I
don't know. I think I'd prefer to talk about the con first. I think.
Okay. All right.
I first. We can do the con first.
Okay.
Your hair looks great today, Sierra.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about my hair.
Well, you too. Your hair looks great every day, Sean.
Thank you. It's so.
Well, all I got to say is nothing but positive of the con. I really do. I mean, it's right where I like it. Like I don't like a lot of people, and I don't like, you know what I'm saying? Like my biggest thing with Anime in St. Louis has always been getting run over. Like I'm not too crazy about the venues, and you can't even stand still for like a minute most of the time. And you're like, push, you got to move, you got to keep on. This was not like that. And it was like, if we want to do whatever we want to do, it was like, I said, let's just go to the fountain, right? And so we just go down the fountain. It's like, nobody's there. And you're like, just taking advantage of it. And then
that was really nice.
Yeah,
I've never seen the fountain that empty for shoots before.
Right. And then
so that was definitely a plus.
The video from the photography, which is something I'm learning to do as well, we can do for future cons. I don't go to panels, so I don't have really a say in it. I did notice that the panels were pushed an hour ahead. Is that my understanding?
I have no idea. The only thing that I went to and the only thing I was a part of was the Okashi fashion show on Saturday.
Did you go to a panel, Sierra?
No, I didn't go to any panels.
The most of the ones that I went to, they said they would start then, but they would start it 30 minutes or an hour beforehand. And I was like, oh, right. Is that how we do it today?
Yeah, did that kind of mess things up for you?
It kind of did, because I was like, because when you try to go in, they were already filled. So I'm like, oh, thanks.
So do you think they just opened the rooms early and let people in so that attendance was accounted for before they started, or did they actually start early?
Well, that's probably most for some of them, but most of them, when I went up there, they were already the doors was already closed, they were already talking, doing their thing. Most were like that, and then others were just yeah, it was just attendance and it was already filled. And I was like, dang, okay.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't try to go to anything this year. I was too busy scrambling around. I was nervous about getting into what cosplay at what time. And I feel like I do this to myself at every con, is I just I really stress out about things until it's already over. And then I'm like, wow, I had a great time at the con. And I'm upset I was stressing the whole time, though.
You get really stressed out a lot. And
I'm so sorry.
Just one time, but this one time, you were kind of, but I've seen that before. Where you, especially when right before a show, you would get in panic attack, and I
was nervous about the Lolita thing because it was so far out of I don't want to say out of my comfort zone, but it was so new for me because I really don't do that kind of thing. I don't do fluffy dresses or really female attire at all anyway. So it was really fun though. I had a lot of fun with it.
I'll be honest with you. Right before I do a show and I know this is totally gross, I throw up sometimes, and it helps out a lot. Do you do the same things here?
Yeah, I got stage fright and anxiety, so it just comes up naturally. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I do. Well, it's I showed up Friday night, and it's Sierra goes down the hallway, and she looks from somebody from the set of the Beverly Hills Wives looks like a margarita in her hand and a schoolgirl outfit. It's one of those fruit cocktail things you had, but it looked like a margarita. I was like sitting there going, it's like,
Elsa here.
I was like, I was thinking, are we on the set of Beverly Hills Wives? And then Sierra's in there. Well, I mean, it's like I said, it's tough because, like I said, you know, being locked up for a year, and I guess I wonder if this is what you guys are experiencing too. I was so out of shape. It was so hard to adjust. It was really rough for me, and I don't know how you guys dealt with it. What was yours like?
I barely fit into any of my cosplays, so I had very slim pickings for what I could bring, first of all. So I think that's something that like really like attributed to my anxiety for the con. But I don't know. I guess that was like my biggest setback.
Yeah, and I had just gotten off a trip, and I did really well on my last trip. And this trip, I packed the wrong chargers. I packed the wrong clothes. I packed everything wrong. I was like say Sierra and we had to go to Walmart to pick up a charger for the camera, or we couldn't do video the next day. And which is like everything. One thing I learned about St. Charles, if I go back, I'll probably enjoy it more because I know where everything's at now. Because like everything's right there. There's like, you're just right down the road from Walmart. You're right down the road from downtown. And I said, if we did this correctly and it was better timing, like I'd probably fit in a movie for us to go watch and review and that kind of thing, because everything's right there. And didn't do that because I didn't know what to expect. I really didn't. I was just like, let's just run with it, just go out there. And we did really well. Sierra got a lot of content for video. We got a lot of photos for you guys. And probably Tuesday is when I'll have all the Lolita stuff up, and I'll email your person. I've got to get the names correct for all that, which is something we got to do to get, the name of the fashion and all that kind of stuff, so we can credit everything like that. And then we got, as well, but we'll see how that goes. But like I said, to me, it's been really a good positive feedback from all this. It was well worth what we did, even though it didn't seem like a lot. It impacted more after we got back than it did while we were there.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's what we were looking for, right?
Yeah, exactly. What about you, Sierra? What the most fun that you had out there? I mean, was this like a year before since you've been out to a con?
It was actually 2 years, because the last time I went to a con was actually March in 2019. My last one was actually December of 2018, because I wasn't able to go to the Riverview in one in 2019.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was one at Clarksville, and I canceled it, even though there wasn't any cancellation, because I wanted to go to one in Evansville, because like Lucas and we already had hotel rooms going to Evansville. And
I was already on my way to Kentucky, so that one I couldn't go to that one.
Oh, well, this is before you and I made a deal. And but like Lucas and I were going to Evansville. That was our thing. And I was talking to people at work. I was like, I've got to get ready to go on the trip, right? And then, of course, Miss Haley, and I talk about Miss Haley a lot, and Lucas knows that. And she says, I don't think you're going to go to Evansville. I've said, whatever. This is like Indiana, they don't give a care. And sure enough, there was a big old thing, and it was tough because I had to go. I think Lucas's parents have already said that you weren't going no matter what.
So this was my first con in a while, and I remember March of 2020 when everything started shutting down. We had tickets and we're all packed up. I had all my cosplays packed up, and we were leaving that morning for NakaCon.
Right.
And literally people were checking into the hotels and everything on that day whenever they were like, hey, actually, we're not having it today. Like, don't check into your rooms. And people were already there. which was like the crazy thing is like I think part of my group had already gone and checked into the rooms, and they're like, hey, what are you going to be here? And we were literally getting in the car, getting all of our stuff into the car to go, and there's this big announcement that was just like, hey, sorry, we know you're here, but it's not happening. And we were like, oh my goodness. So yeah, I couldn't do that one, and then I was looking forward to the one with you that we were going to do, and that one shut down and everything just closed, and it was wild. And
yeah, I really was upset because it was like,
I was in prison.
What's that?
I was in prison.
I feel like you were in prison.
Like, you don't understand, at AIT they had these barracks, but it was caged in. I felt like I was in prison. Because I had a uniform and everything. I was like, oh.
Y'all were getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. I was
like, we were not allowed to leave our barracks. Like, we had to be marched from Chow to Chow. We were not allowed to. Like, classes were canceled for a good old month. And I was like, we're really in prison, aren't we?
Because
the Wi-Fi was down, AC wasn't working. I was like, no.
That's insane.
Oh my
So
goodness.
you were over there whenever everything started shutting down?
Yeah, I was stuck in AIT since 2019.
That's
Since
terrifying. Oh my god.
Yeah. And then I wasn't able to leave until like April 16th of 2020.
Oh wow.
So I was just like, yeah, I'm actually in prison. But it was chill. I was getting paid in prison.
Get children.
That's pretty cool.
They do get paid in prison. I remember prisoners making 11 cents an hour for plumbing and things like that. They do get paid in prison. But
yeah,
it's not.
Bump that up to 50 cents.
Bump it up to 50 cents. But yeah, well, I was like, I've been to a lot of the federal penitentiaries because you got like Illinois. They need to just make Illinois into a giant prison because there's only Chicago and pretty much that's it. Because you got
just between Illinois and like Collinsville area, it's just all, and then there's Springfield, but everything else is just
just like there's nothing there. It's like, I mean, you've got Illinois University. Everybody stops in Champaign just to see the strippers and so you can pay their tuition, and then that's about it. And Chicago. Well, I mean, it's like you guys don't realize how well you guys got in St. Louis with all the nice strip clubs. It's like y'all strip clubs are like known all the way from Los Angeles. I got people from LA. Yeah. Like when they make their films, watch a film sometime and see when they go film in St. Louis, they'll have all the strip clubs they went to in St. Louis. Like, we want to thank all the strip clubs. Well, I mean, like when I was younger, they used to like have the Playboy Club in St. Louis. I don't think it's open now, but you used to like when you filmed out here and commercials and stuff, you just go, most of the bunnies, they'd go hire them and they did commercials locally. Nobody knew there was a bunny because you're like living in the country. What's a Playboy bunny?
Wow,
when you're older, we'll tell you. What? But anyways, yeah, it's like I was sitting there minding my own little business while I was there, and it's like, yo, you need a $25 get on the lingerie bus for next month. This is this month's when the lingerie bus starts in St. Louis. It's like, girl,
what?
$25. Well, you already got a pole there, so you're good to go. I hope they're sanitizing everything.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Anyways, I don't, like I said, I don't visit strip clubs because, like I said, if I'm going to pay money, like I said, I'm going to be eating the cupcakes. Don't be showing the cupcakes to me. I don't care about that crap. I can look at cupcakes all day on YouTube. If I'm paying money, I'm touching them cupcakes. Screw that mess. All right, so nothing but positives. Any stories you want to talk about? The best thing that happened while you were there? Because there got to be a better story than the movie we're going to talk about.
I have a very a very compelling story about a tragic event that happened to us on Saturday night of the con.
A tragic?
So,
oh no.
Yes, it was a thriller story. So
Oh, no.
buckle up. This is
All right.
crazy. But we're leaving a room party on Saturday night, and we're like really hungry, and we're like, we're gonna order a pizza. So we ordered the pizza. And then my contacts start drying out in my eyes, and I can't blink anymore or anything. So we're like, man, okay, I think we have time before the pizza gets here to go back to our hotel and change contacts, take out my contacts so my eyes are okay, get back and pick up the pizza. Well, en route to our hotel to take my contacts out, we lost my friend's phone. We could no longer contact the pizza delivery person. I know, it was pretty crazy. So we're on our way back to the con hotel now to see if we can meet up with the pizza person. And as soon as we pull up, they get out with our pizzas, and we're like, those are for us. So yeah, it was a happy ending. He ended up finding the phone. It was lost in my car, actually, as funny as that is. But we spent the rest of Sunday, because we didn't find it until like Tuesday. So we spent the rest of Sunday like going back and forth from the hotel to the con and asking a bunch of different places if they had found a phone, which they had not because it was in my car. But yay, double yay, because we got pizza, first of all, and we also found the phone.
What about you, Sierra? Did you have any good stories there, or?
No, because I got sick on Saturday.
You got sick on Saturday? Well, my story was like getting to see, but you were all right in the morning time. You did okay because you filmed on Saturday morning.
Yeah, it hit me like near like the middle, and then it was like, okay. And then it was like, okay, we're good. And then it was like, no, we're not good. And it was like, okay, we're good now. And then it was like, no.
Yeah, and
then I got in and it was like, no.
Then Sierra gets mad at me because I played. What's that noise? That's got to be outside. They're sawing.
I don't hear nothing.
Oh, it's on my side. No, and then Sierra gets mad at me because I'm like going all army medic on him. Did you drink plenty of water?
I'm very hydrated, okay? We got a run coming up. I'm going to be hydrated.
You sure you drank plenty of water?
I was just so mad. I was like, you never get sick when you travel, and this is the time you want to?
Oh.
Like, you weak bish.
I'm glad you still came out and took photos on Saturday night, though, because we looked really cute as Len and Miku, the little Senbone.
Well, the funny
so
thing was,
fun.
yeah. Did you see the new pictures here?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. No. I forgot what I was gonna say. It was funny. Besides the Herman thing, but anyways. Oh no, you dropped it.
I had another really cool story about Saturday, though.
Okay.
Well, so it was during the fashion show backstage, and we're all getting into like the big petticoats and the large dresses, and everyone's helping like tie each other up and stuff. It was really fun, and we all like exchanged like Instagram tags and talked about like our experience with like Olita and fashion shows and stuff, and and the coolest part about being backstage, though, is I got to meet the performers who did the dance for the show. I know, and I've been following them on Instagram for, like 2 years now or something like that. I watch all their YouTube videos, I like all their pictures, and I finally got to meet them. And one of the boys in the group remembered me from a previous convention, actually, which was really cool. And I asked for a picture, and I got a picture with them, and later had like a little conversation with the girl twin, which was cool. But I was on Sunday after the con, I had dropped off CJ and I went to go pick up Alex, our shrimp pimp friend, and we were having dinner. And while we were having dinner, I looked down at my phone, and Juvenix, the performers, they actually followed me back on Instagram. I know.
Way to go, Lucas!
I know. It was so cool. So, yeah. So I made some friends.
I did.
And they made their outfits from scratch.
Oh, do they?
From scratch. They made their outfits from scratch for that.
What's the name of the outfits that you guys wore Saturday night?
Us?
Yeah.
The Senbone Sakura outfits?
Yeah, that's the one I got of them. We did a shoot like 2 years ago with
Oh yeah, that's right. And they haven't worn those in a very long time, but they mostly do Vocaloid stuff. I don't know why I'm holding this.
Yeah, one looks like one reminds me and looks like Ash a lot. I think of Ash a lot, and that's what one of them does.
They're a group of twins, and then one of their friends that they've had since like elementary school. They're like one big happy family.
They had that little
the little ponytail. Yeah, that's Novin. He's the not twin. And then the other two are the twins.
That's so cute.
Yeah, they were all adorable. I really enjoyed that. The only thing that I was upset about being backstage was I couldn't watch the performance. So I'm glad that you both got videos for me to like watch later on for the performance, because I was really bummed about it while I was backstage.
When you were up there on stage.
I know. So I was like, man, I can only do one.
I was like,
but I had so much fun. I
was so amazed they did the Tempera Kids. And you talk about random. I mean, it's like hardly anyone does any Tempera Kids stuff. And I know Tempera Kids because I remember the Skullgirl thing, and the thing was like, and then, stuff like that. I like the stuff that's more Japanese, or because they did a Garu fashion video, right? Mm-hmm. And I would love to do Garu fashion, like with Sierra and you and whatever. I'm sure Emily.
That'd be so much fun.
I'm sure Emily could pull it off. Huh?
That'd be down if Lucas is.
Yeah, have you ever done
honestly, I know that sounds weird for me, but I mean, especially after doing the Lolita thing, I want to do.
Well,
and
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
A few influencers that do Gyaru.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tempera Kids did that Gyaru videos, and I tell you what, that was like the only one I really liked, because I like the fashion. I don't care about the other stuff. The other stuff's too like juvenile or little. It's kind of got more of a Latin feel to it. But when they did the guy, I'm like, why don't they do more of that? Because that was like so cool. Because like you don't see so many people doing that fashion, and it's like, and especially like, that's one I would love to do like one shoot where we're just doing that, because that's the only one I really liked of their stuff. But I was like, that's so random to do Tempera Kids, because nobody does Tempera Kids. I was like, everybody's like doing all the other groups, it was like, a Vocaloid or whatever, All right. Anybody else want to touch anything about the con before we go into the movie real quick?
I'm just so glad I got to see their dance performance. Like, that was just top notch. Like, it makes me just want to drive to Alistair and have him just start teaching me how to dance now. I was like, Alistair,
oh, Sierra, you can dance.
No, if I get Alistair teaching me, bitches watch out. It's over for y'all.
That would be amazing. I'd love to form like a group.
Well,
I've got like 2 left feet. I honestly do. I did want to say that like I've been going to ASTL pretty consecutively, except for when I lived in Chicago, but pretty consecutively since 2012.
Yeah,
I think. So I don't know how many years that is, but I've been ASTL a lot. But this was your first ASTL, wasn't it, Sierra?
And I probably won't be going back.
It's a long drive.
It's like the con was amazing. It was amazing. It was big. It was huge. Getting there, I have to cross 4 bridges that's underwater, and I was stuck on one bridge, and my car was just shaking back. I'm not doing it again.
I know that.
I really just cannot.
I was so surprised, like I told Lucas, that you were like, I'm going to come. I was like, if you didn't come, that would have been fine. But you responded that you were going to come, and I was like,
it was Lucas. I couldn't tell.
I was so excited. I was like, I honestly, I messaged her. I was like, hey, are you gonna be trying to do ASTL? And she was like, I don't know, maybe. And then and then later she hit me up. She's like, I'm gonna go. And I'm like, yes, it's gonna be awesome. I'm so glad that you went. It was so much fun. And all of your cosplays are so cute. I can't believe like your Toru was literally perfect on Friday. And you said that was your like backup, right?
Yeah, it was. Cause like the only one that actually fit me was the Miku one.
Oh yeah.
Everything else was a little too big, and I was just like, please don't notice.
Well, it was good to see Ruby Rose again.
Oh yeah, her corset. I had to wrap it around. and Velcro it more because it did not.
And you could tell that you had progressed from when I first met you.
Yeah, because I didn't have contacts. Like I ordered contacts the first time, and they were like, "Yeah."
Well, more than that.
And then it was like I ordered foundation because I was just not getting into makeup, and it was like, it's not coming until next month.
Yeah,
I was just I'm not going with makeup.
In other words,
it was really nice on Sunday, especially.
I was like, you're no longer a little girl anymore.
I'm still a little girl.
No, you're not.
I will be my grandma's little girl.
Like I tell people, it's like, I know Sierra's not 13 because I counted the rings on her fingers. Turn around. You got little lines. See, count the lines there. You don't see lines on your fingers?
No.
No, the other way around.
I had that. You said count them.
Right here, like right here. Don't you see the lines?
I got 3 lines.
Right, on each hand.
I got 1 on the other hand.
Right. It's a joke. I'm being facetious.
Oh, I'm sitting here counting the lines on my hand.
Right? Like, you can't do that. That's stupid. You gotta stop.
Well, it's like your mind's like blowing you.
Okay.
Every time you get older, you get another line. You know that. All right. So that's how you know the age.
Wait, like really or not really?
I'm just making it up as it comes along. All right, so we had good time at the con. Very positive emotions, but very positive things. While Sierra's counting. What's that?
I'm gonna go to Atlanta one.
The one in Atlanta, Dragon Con. Which one?
Oh, I want to go to an Atlanta con too. I want to start branching out. Like once it's a little more safer and the vaccines start getting a little more regulated, I want to branch out and do some of the like.
I want to go out west definitely because I've got so many friends out there, and like out Washington. I'd love to go Seattle's and San Diego.
There's a few Washington cons.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Washington's are really big and. All right, so everybody had a good time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad. I was like, I wanted to go by and check on you at your hotel, but I never did, Sierra. I was like,
I was out.
You were sleeping.
As soon as I got home, I was out.
All right, so and like I said, with Mortal Kombat coming out, I thought we'd do something regarding that. And I was like, then everybody was like, we're going to go see Mortal Kombat. I'm like, yeah, we better not. We better just do the original one. That way we can talk about it and still, because let's revisit what's going on, how this started. And I'll give a little introduction. About 1992. Now, there was like, used to when I was a kid, you'd go to these arcades and you had like arcade games and all the kind of things like that. And I know they're kind of still big in Japan and whatever. One of the saddest,
they are.
one of the saddest things in my life was watching my local arcade just close. That was just like sucked because when I had time off from work, I had a place to go. The last big video game that I was interested in at the arcade was Dance Dance Revolution, but
I love that game.
Yeah, but before then, nobody really went to arcade, and then Mortal Kombat came back in 1992 and really just like saved the arcade industry. And because of that, everybody had to get the game on PS2 and of course the other games on wasn't Xbox back in those days. But you had PlayStation, then you also had Nintendo, not Nintendo. Nintendo had
Yeah, you did. You had like that little Nintendo little thingy majigger bobber.
yeah, Sega. It was Sega. That's what it was. Sega and PS2. Because Nintendo wasn't into like the violent games.
I had it on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Actually, for a very short amount of time when I was young, and then my mom was like, "You're way too young to have this," and then traded in for some like Disney game.
Yeah,
so for a very short amount of time, I had it.
Right, and it became a popular video game, and with that popularity, 3 years later, they come out with this movie. And like I said, I was younger during this time, and I was like, I'm probably more cynical now than I was back in those days. I was like, oh wow, I think I was really I wanted to see it. I really did. It was like, and the only actress I knew from it was Christopher Lambert, and of course, Bridget Wilson. Those only two people I know that were going to be in it, and like Bridget Wilson, she's like a model slash, what do you call it? Beauty.
Is she the Sonya one?
Beauty competition. Yeah, she was Sonya Blade. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's probably the second most famous one that I knew, because like I said, I knew Christopher Lambert because I watch all the Highlander movies, because you know, like there can only be one, you know. And then of course, like Bridget Wilson was the teacher in Billy Madison with Adam Sandler, and of course she was introduced in the movie. The movie called Last Action Hero with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So she played the daughter of Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie. So that's where she came about, and she was the only one I knew about. And then, of course, she's going to play Sonya Blade, but she was replacing another person because I think somebody else. But she was the only one that I knew about. But it was like I remember the soundtrack. I remember the video game was really popular, so I was excited to see it, and I guess I saw it, and then I rented it and everything. And I completely forgotten about it because I didn't watch anything afterwards because. I mean, I'll be honest, these movies are terrible. The TV series are terrible. The whole thing is just, I mean, I love the video games. I'll be honest. I mean, I remember bringing friends over and playing the video games and having a good time. I've got so many fond memories of getting together. I mean, that was another thing too. The social thing about Mortal Kombat is like, you'd call somebody, yeah, everybody would be like, oh, I got this finishing move and you got this finishing move. And everybody would be like, testing their finishing move on everybody, and then you have like the
tournament.
Oh man, it was just fun, But it's like you actually back in those days, you actually had to get up and go over someone's house or apartment. Mine was apartment. I had my bachelor pad, so it was like people.
I had a friend in college actually invite me over to play Mortal Kombat at one point.
Yeah,
and unfortunately, I was in Chicago at the time because it sounded super fun,
right.
But like, yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of good memories for the video game. But they made this movie, and like I said, I watched it a couple of times, and I've completely forgotten about it. How stupid it was, because it's really kind of lame. And anybody would go over this quite. First of all, I mean, they rip off the movie with Bruce Lee, Enter the Dragon. It's pretty much Enter the Dragon, and with all these terrible CGI special effects, like
I was so.
You what? Go ahead, Sarah.
When I was watching this, I was so mad. I was like, you picked the worst movie. It was even worse than Trolls.
Well, you were like,
I
wanted you to say, because I knew this was going to be terrible, but it was like, it was either this one or let's go watch the new one, which everybody's going to see today. And it's like, I can't do that to people. So it's like, let's just take one of the old ones. And it was like, I knew it was going to be torture, but I was just sitting there waiting for my phone to come back with a response. I'm going to fight whoever picked this film from you. I was like,
I knew Lucas wouldn't pick this film. I knew it.
Well, it was like we really didn't have much of a choice. I mean, it's like you could watch another one of the series, which are really, really bad, or the TV series, which is really, really bad. I mean, all I can say is bad. I mean,
the effects were insane. It looks like I pulled it up on MS Paint and then like put the layer on top of the film.
I was so cringy when I watched Scorpion's little cartoon come out of his hand.
Yeah. Oh my god.
See it moving on the hand.
Yeah. And it's like poor Bridget Wilson. She's got this like stuck. All I can describe it as bitch face. I wish I could say another terminology, but she looks like, yeah, it's like she's always stuck in mode all the time. Yeah, like do it again, Sarah.
Oh, I was totally looking at something else. I was looking at armadillo. We made eye contact. I had to be the dominant one.
Wait, where are you that you have armadillos?
In the sea.
Y'all got armadillos?
Yeah, you don't have armadillos?
I don't
You want
think
one?
I don't think so, dude.
Yeah, there's some parts
You
of Tennessee that's
one.
pretty dry. Like you got scorpions in Tennessee, like in
What?
and
Yeah.
fire ants too. You have fire ants. They even get fire ants up there.
Now we got deer.
We got deer too.
Deer
You
heart.
can
I
keep 'em.
can sip you an armadillo.
But like I said,
We have elephants in St. Louis.
you got elephant.
We got those.
You got the St. Louis Zoo. Did you see that? I was there. They were like, we've got the dinosaurs. You can call in by appointment.
Yeah, they had the dinosaur exhibit going on. I was like, what, dude? Are you really gonna bring your kid to the zoo to see dinosaurs? And like,
Oh, but you have to call in by appointment. I saw that too, and I was like, okay.
Hope you're not busy, Lucas. We're going on a trip.
those are some busy dinosaurs. They have to schedule you in.
Yeah, I was like, well, I'll try to fit you in. We got an opening with a T-Rex.
T-Rex will eat me.
I-
You know, T-Rex are actually proven to be slow.
Whoa.
All right, let's stick back to the movie. Okay. All right, so anybody want to tell us? Anybody got an idea what the plot is of this movie?
I can kind of give a overview of the plot. I can't really start anywhere, but like basically I'm gonna put this down. We have these 3 fighters that are summoned to fight in this ancient tournament to like I don't remember why, but yeah.
Well, I think 3 of them were
Yeah.
good, and then the other 3 were evil.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, which is like I know this much. It's Johnny Cage, Luke Kane, and then Sonya Blade.
And Sonya Blade,
Right.
yeah.
Those are the 3 good ones, and then
Uh-huh.
Goro and Joxer and I don't know if I'm saying his name right.
So like, I know like why each one was fight. I only know like why 2 of them were fighting. I didn't really catch why the 3rd one was fighting.
Uh-huh.
Not really sure, but
I know the one guy was because of his brother,
Yeah.
and he felt really like guilty about his brother.
Yeah, that was Luke Cage. Or Luke Kane. I'm sorry, Luke Kane and then Johnny Cage. Luke Kane.
And Sonya wanted to fight that dude with Kano, the one with the robotic face. She wanted to fight him.
Yeah, because he
And
killed
I
her
can't remember
partner.
what killed him.
He killed her partner.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, I don't know, I mean, you'd have to go on Wikipedia, and of course, if you Mortal Kombat nerds can tell us whether or not, like, these people, if that's origin story is the truth. Because I know, like, when they made the video game, there was, like, what do you call it? Backstories to each of them. And so
Really?
I wonder if these are canon, like this is like the backstories. Because, well, I mean, like if you like when you bought toys, all the toys had backstories to a lot of these toys, and then they made the cartoons, and then they didn't stick to the backstories of the toys. And you're just like, why didn't you just stick to the backstory? All you have to do is turn the box around and read this backstory, and you can add it to the
Right.
movie. Like, why don't you do that? It's not Hollywood enough. Yeah. Then you get all mad because you're like, you really made that character really lame, like Man at Arms from He-Man had a mustache, but like when you had the figure, he didn't have a mustache, and for some reason they made him the father of Tila, and you're like, if you read the backstory on the toy's like, no, he's just Man at Arms, and he doesn't have like a gay mustache or anything. He has like really green skin, like. But it's like it's like one of those Freddy Goes to Hollywood mustaches, That's the reason why it's so lame. It's like, why did you do that? Because he looks like he's going to the club afterwards. He's like, well, He-Man, you got your thing with that. I got to go to the club. I'll see you later. Relax. Don't do it. But anyways, I wish people would stick to their stories. That's what all I'm trying to say. And that's what they do is like the Mortal Kombat probably typed all this crap out, and then they do these movies and they don't stick to these stories or whatever. But anyways,
yeah, that's pretty frustrating.
It is frustrating.
I'd be really mad, especially if I was someone who like played the game or like whatever part, enjoyed one part of it, and then I was like really looking forward to the movie coming out, and they're like, "Oh, you like this character? Get wrecked."
What was
you thought?
Any of y'all were Street Fighter fans?
No.
You were?
I don't know. Don't ask me their names, but me and my brother, when we were angry, we get on Street Fight, and then he kicked my butt, and then I win one, and then he won the next 10.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you didn't know the characters. Like I said, a lot of kids were into Street Fighter more than they were in Mortal Kombat. It's kind of it's kind of like with GoBots and Transformers. Like, I knew kids that grew up liking GoBots, and I was big in Transformers. And of course, the story that GoBots were the Kmart version of Transformers, basically. And they were. Because it's like, Transformers were like, an average Transformer probably costs $25, $30. An average GoBot costs like $1 to $5. So yes, they were the Kmart version of Transformers. But, Transformers, those boxes, and they had the backstory, all this kind of thing, and then the cartoons, I think, try to keep that canon and everything like that, and it's a shame, but there's rules. You need to abide by the rules. But I don't know if it's the case with this film. It's like I said, a lot of the stuff they were stealing from, like, Enter the Dragon, Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon. It was kind of like, let's take Enter the Dragon's idea and add Mortal Kombat story there. And it was like, oh.
It was like, basically, take this movie, sprinkle a little. It's like copying homework and changing a few answers.
Yeah.
That's what it basically was.
Yeah, I compared it.
Yeah,
I almost compared it to Scooby-Doo. Like, and I hate Scooby-Doo is probably like, there's a scene where they're all three listening in to Goro and what's his name, and it's so hilarious. It's like, really, I hate that, because it's like they never noticed that people are watching them, and why are they having this private conversation in this giant room?
They didn't even look like they were in the same room with how it was animated. Honestly, it looked like they shot it. Like, I know the one guy wasn't even real, but like it didn't even look like they were in the same room. It looked like it was shot in two different rooms anyway.
The private,
well, yeah,
the privates, yeah, they probably did. They probably shot their reactions and the conversations separately, and it was like, probably, okay, no, just react.
Yeah, I know.
And they just
it was
added
crazy.
in there.
It was like, what? And you know what I really hated? Okay. Like, the worst part of this movie that I'm pretty sure they all anticipated to be the best part of this movie was all of the, like, Scorpion and Sub-Zero one-liners. Like, the, get over here, and, like, everything. It's like, wow. That's your only line?
Yeah, well,
that's your only line? And it's like the way that he even said it, it didn't sound like in the video game. It didn't sound like it belonged there in the movie. It just sounded like, okay, now is my cue to say this. It's like, what is going on?
Well, the hint,
it was,
and they were like henchmen, like Sub-Zero, and I don't understand all that, But the thing that makes me so mad, I was watching the film, is how poor the editing was. Like,
even I could do better.
Yeah,
not saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like they had two scenes that made sense, and then they, like, when the tournament starts, right? Okay, so they were like tournament scenes. They went one thing, and the next thing we see Johnny Cage in the woods. You're like, you might want to set that up. Like, maybe
try to blend.
Yeah, it's like maybe Johnny Cage needs to say, I'm going out the woods to use the bathroom real quick. Or something, because you're watching.
Or I'm going to look at something else. Like, son, my guy, don't just telepath.
Yeah.
Like, teleport him.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't make no sense. Or like, there was one scene, all of a sudden, you see Katana and Luke Kane on a beach and they're gonna fight, and it's so funny because it's like
Yeah, I was watching that and I was like, did I miss something?
or it's like
Are they in the areas fighting? Is that what it was?
I guess
Or
it
are they
was.
supposed to be?
And it was set up like more like a romantic thing. That's what was so funny about the whole thing. It was like
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, what?
it's like, are we watching the same movie? It was like no, that's Mortal
Did I
Kombat.
which?
Mortal Kombat 1995. Poorly edited film by so and so and so. I don't know what happened to all these characters. Like I said, the Johnny Cage guy, I don't know where he's at. The Luke Kane guy, he did a lot of Mortal Kombat films after this. Of course, like Bridget Wilson got married and pretty much left Hollywood. And then like Christopher Lambert, I've known him for several years. I was a big Highlander film, and I think that was the whole thing with him. Oh, a B star. Let's put Christopher Lambert in there. Of course, that other dude, he's in a lot of B movies. You can the bad guy. You can look him up on the internet. He's in like tons. He's got a big MB list. There were some things that it just at first when I started watching, it was like every time a character came on screen, it was like, oh, that one's going to talk. Who was the most annoying to you?
Sonya.
Sonya was pretty much annoying. Why was she?
That's the only reason why I remember her name.
Johnny Cage.
He was pretty dang annoying. I mean, like his one-liners made you just want to go.
No, the dude who wanted to fight, I can't remember names. I'm sorry, y'all. The dude that said he could challenge anybody, and he challenged Sonya. Him when they killed the brother too. He was absolutely annoying to me because he's the most ever fitted his lines, and I'm just like. 100%.
It was definitely a weird movie. I didn't know what was going on through half of it, even though I was actively watching it.
The thing
like...
that when I first watched this when I was younger, and was I remember the girl guy, you know, the one with 4 arms, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I remember when he first came out, I just about died laughing in the movie theater because he looked like a cartoon. And I just...
Yeah, he does. He didn't even look close to real.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, that is so lame looking. And he comes out there, and his voice... The funny thing was, too, is like that evil cartoon voice at the end, where the cartoon guy comes out, and I'm going to go after you guys, too. And they're like getting a stance, and it's like, oh my goodness. I'm expecting the Mortal Kombat animated series now, you know?
It was wild.
It
was a trip. It was a trip, and like you could literally predict anything. Like when
really
when, like the stone, I was like, watch, it's gonna come alive, and then 2 seconds later, a soul went in and he's alive, and I'm like, I called it.
Yeah. Or the time that it's like, oh, don't worry, brother. And it's like, that's not your brother. And then he transforms and it's like, nah.
Told you he wasn't his brother.
Yeah. When all the this spirits cave and you're like, the brother's gonna talk to him, just watch. And I was like,
right, yeah, I know, right? Like he's gonna have to actually make an appearance now that you faked him out, you know? You can't just be like, nah.
Yeah, it's so.
We should write the next one, Sierra. Like we know, you know.
Well, I mean, we'll see if this new one is going to redeem all this.
Are we gonna do the new one?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
I mean.
I feel like since we did this one, like it'd be easy to compare.
Well, I mean, that's the bad thing. Is like. It's like comparing. I don't know. It's just like I listened to the trailer and the people talking about the new movie and they're doing this voiceover. It kind of sound very annoying to me, but we'll see how it goes because it's like
the trailer for this one. It made me feel like, oh my god, you know how it's like 3 fighters join together to do this tournament, and it's just like all I could hear in my head was like. Coming soon to on VHS. Like, that's all I could think of. I was like, because it's that style of, like, the old movie when they'd introduce, like, that way.
Well, here's the bad thing. When Hollywood does any make of anything like video games or whatever, they try to make a film because they're afraid that non-video game fans won't get it. And I'm sorry, no one goes to Mortal Kombat, the movie, if you've not played the video game. There's not like a non-video game person going, gee, I want to go see the Mortal Kombat movie. It's not like I'm not stereotyping, but it's not like your girlfriend's going to go, honey, the new Mortal Kombat's going, let's go see it. And then I'll come home and we'll make some drinks and whatever. No, that's not your Friday. The dudes and chicks that are going to see Mortal Kombat, they're going to see Mortal Kombat because they played the flippin' video game. And they never cater to those people during those days. They probably do now. But back in those days, they didn't think video game was real entertainment. And so you got this Hollywood guy going, well, we could make it like Enter the Dragon. And we could have a little Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade romance. And it's like, dude, you ever played Mortal Kombat? What's that? That's what we're making a movie about! You know what I'm saying?
It's like they were like, oh, I heard the game Mortal Kombat. Never played it, but we're going to do our best.
Well,
let's make a movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what they probably sound like now. The Hollywood executives sound more like Sierra. And I'm like, I've never played it, but I think everybody would like it.
Yeah, never played it. Let's do our best. That's funny.
And I'm not going to try to read the box of any doll research, but let's do it.
Did you ever encounter if you go to the cons, let's be honest, there's a lot of Mortal Kombat fans there.
I've never seen one.
Oh, yeah. One of my best friends at one of the cons that's always there in the St. Louis community is always Sub-Zero. He always does a Sub-Zero cosplay.
Right. And the question is now how do they feel about these films? I mean, do they is this canon to the...
I don't know. I should ask him.
Because...
See...
I mean, there's
That's like asking what their favorite flower is. You don't ask them. Because then you're going to be there for hours.
They're
going to true. I don't know. I feel like that's similar to asking someone if they like the anime or the manga adaptation for something. Because a lot of times, with Full Metal or stuff, it gets real derailed.
Well,
right. They go into it.
Is there... I mean, I felt like when I was younger, but I don't think it's a big issue. There were people, like I said, that were Street Fighter fans and that were Mortal Kombat fans. Because I believe Street Fighter came out first. And
really?
And people were like, oh, you just ripped off Street Fighter. Well, the thing is with that Mortal Kombat, the reason why it was so innovative is because it used that laser technology like real people. So it looked like real people on the screen fighting. And whereas Street Fighter looked like 16-bit characters. Sorry, but that's the truth.
It was still badass.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, basically, at Mortal Kombat, the characters look real. You're looking at a real... Sub-Zero was played by a real actor. They hired real actors to make that video game realistic. And it, like I said, it changed video games. Because, when I went to... We used to have, after the arcades were kind of dying down, we had a Kroger's, and they get one video game, right? And so, which was something, so at least you had something to play while Mama was in there buying food, whatever. So Rampage was one of the first ones, and it was kind of really, what do you say, high tech first time. But then, of course, Mortal Kombat came along, and they started putting them in the super Walmart centers and whatever. People were lined up to play it because it was really cool looking. I mean, it was very innovative for its time, and so them making a movie, no surprise, of course, because it's popular.
I didn't have any arcades around growing up, which really sucks. But now that I'm an adult, we do have a barcade in the city, which is me and the boys' favorite place to go. So we get to go and we get to experience all the old games. We get to play the Pac-Man games, the X-Men fighting games. They got the pinballs, racers, DDR, Frogger. It's really fun.
Well, it was.
So
it's.
I feel like I missed out when I was a kid not being able to go, not having an arcade in the area, though.
Well, I mean, didn't you have, Dance Dance Revolution, though, during your time?
No.
Really?
Mm-mm.
That's a shame.
I never played it. I always watched it on YouTube.
DDR? Really?
Dance Dance Revolution? Yeah.
Well, I ended up getting the game for home. And it was great because you could do your cardio and play the game, and it would keep up with how many minutes and all that, and how much you lost your weight. But I was big DDR, and I know it's like, I know y'all trying to imagine, but I was. And so I would play when I was, working overseas. I had a home version, right? And so I was like, I had it set up in my little hooch, and of course all the medics were making fun of me. You're sitting there playing Dance Revolution. Well, because when I had shore leave, right, I would go to the arcades and play the tournaments, and you had these skinny little 13-year-old boys come out there. I mean, had girls on each shoulder, and they just throw their jackets up. And you play the game, whatever have you, and a lot of the game, and that's the reason a lot of my music playlist is DDR stuff. Like,
that's so cool.
When he's like, "Dream a dream," and I remember doing "Dream a Dream" and all those other things. But they would always kill me on the slow stuff. I hated the slow stuff. Like, all the girls would pick the slow stuff, and they'd kill you on that because it's like they would pick something really slow, and you're like, you want to go really fast, and they're like, and you're sitting there trying to think, doing the steps and all that. But that was the last arcade game before our arcade closed that I cared about, or anybody cared about. I mean, because it's like, and they ought to be thankful for all the DDR players, because putting the coins in, I mean, because them arcade places wouldn't have lasted as long as they had. And then, like I said, the tournaments were a big deal. I mean, it's like a kid making $500 for winning a tournament. Hey,
that's a lot.
It is a lot. But, and that's the reason why when I got in the J-pop thing, it was pretty easy to go into it, because a lot of the DDR games had J-pop songs on them. And then you had like the Korean versions, and the Korean versions, which was kind of strange having J-pop on the Korean version of the games. But yeah, the Korean version games had like real J-pop songs on it, and I like the Korean versions DDRs than I do the American versions, to be honest with you. They were fun, and you had the little cute cartoon characters coming up, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and it's like that was the last one after Mortal Kombat that I saw that people showed any interest, and then all these arcade places just closed down. Of course, we still got arcades at our movie theaters, and that's about it. Which I don't go much in the movie theaters right now, but it looks like we're going to probably go back to it.
I'm going to go be seeing that Demon Slayer movie Monday.
What's that Demon Slayer movie? What's it called?
Demon Slayer?
I thought you were going to go, but you're going to go see the Mortal Kombat, right?
We were, but we actually changed our mind. We saw Remorse instead.
Oh, I see how you are. All right. So, real quick, let's see, what do you say? Any recommendations on this?
Don't
watch this movie if you played the game, I guess.
What's that?
I said watch this movie if you played the game, I guess. I don't know.
I do not recommend this.
I will say one thing. There's one scene I always remember. Is when Johnny Cage splits and hits the cartoon guy in the nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's about it. And then, of course, when Sonya Blade breaks the guy's neck. Those are only two things I really remember.
That was badass.
Yeah. And of course, I was like, I think every guy wanted to be that guy at that time. Bridget Wilson, whatever, we love you. And, regarding of your face, that you cannot help that.
Sad.
I can't remember his name, but he is the one that was fighting for his brother.
Luke Kane.
Chef Kiss.
Yeah. Well, he's done a lot of
He looks like my friend. He looks like one of my Facebook friends. I saw him, I was like, oh my god, that looks so much like my friend. It's all I could think of the entire movie. I was like, oh.
The hair.
It's him with the long, luscious hair. Yeah.
The hair.
I just love the hair. I don't know what it is. I just want to feel the hair.
You're sick. Yeah. But I love you. Well, guys, thanks for joining me this hour. We appreciate you guys doing. We'll divide this up into two videos, one on Con and one on the Mortal Kombat. Talking Mortal Kombat. Peace. Did y'all have any questions before we get out of here?
Nope.
Nope. I'm going to relax, play some video games, and do some binge watching. So.
I'm gonna eat breakfast.
Oh, you know, I didn't think about food.
Yeah,
Huh?
I actually, guys, hold on,
Okay.
wait. Say hi.
Time.
Yeah, I've been here literally the entire time.
Yeah.
I saw a shadow moving on the light, and I was like,
It
"Is
was
that a
him,
really big
yeah.
cat, or that's a person?"
I kind of figured.
It's my cat.
I kind of figured. I called it, but I didn't want to say anything. I was like, wait. I was like, but I didn't want to give any spoilers alerts.
Yeah. Well, Sundays are one of his only days off, so usually I'll pick him up either before or after the reviews.
Yeah, I've literally sat here and just watched for at least like 3 of these.
All right. Well,
I
I just
in spirit.
wanted to show that I have this being here with me, and we love you guys.
All right, peace. Thanks, you guys. I'll get with you guys
Bye.
tomorrow. Bye.
Who's your daddy?
Having issues distributing your music? Try DistroKid today. Get your music distributed through Spotify, through iTunes, Pandora, TikTok, through YouTube, through Twitch, all by clicking below. Click on the link below and try DistroKid to get your music distributed today. I've tried it and I've loved it.